In this video, I want to show you how you organize the different screens in the project. So here is a Flowco program. On the panel, I've got the usual components, the display, the graphical bitmap drawer, the encoder, switch, the two LEDs representing the outputs, and the PWM component. And this is the main program. We initialize the display, set up the backlight, and go straight into this loop, which manages the screen navigation. So we've got different macros for each of the screens that we're going to use, the 4 screens. But the navigation always comes back to this main loop. And what we have is we have a variable called new screen, and that is going to control the navigation. And there's a case statement here. So there's an endless loop, and depending on what the state of new screen is, we either go to the home screen, the code screen, the enter screen, and the denial screen. And we're using macros here rather than numbers to control it. So 0 is if new screen is 0, we're going to go to the home screen. If new screen is code screen or 1, we're going to go to the code screen, and so on. So to start with, new screen is 0, so we go straight into the home screen macro. The home screen macro sets the foreground color to white, prints home on the display, and then says push bezel to move on, and goes into this loop. And what we're going to do is we're going to read the state of the bezel switch. We're going to use the read state macro there. And if the bezel switch is pressed, then new screen is assigned the value code screen or 1. And then we go to the end of the loop. At the start of the loop, we are testing for a new screen being home screen. If it's not, then it goes out of this macro back into main. And we use this slightly confusing structure because what we don't want to do is navigate to a different place whilst this loop is still open. If we did that, the stack inside the microcontroller will become full after a while, and that would be a bad thing for our program. So having a variable system like this and always closing the loop and going back to main keeps our stack clean. So in home screen, when the bezel switch is pressed, we go to code screen. In code screen, when the bezel switch is pressed, we go to enter screen via main, and the same for denial screen. So this system allows us to set up 4 separate screens and navigate between them. And if I just simulate that for you, the home screen, we press that switch and we go to the code screen, then we go to the enter screen, the denial screen, and back to home screen. So you can see how that works. And if I show you on the hardware now, let me power that up. Then that's the home screen, that's the code screen, that's the enter screen, the denial screen, and the home screen. So that allows you to see how you can use the switch to navigate between different screens.